Hello and welcome to Pandora Astrology's monthly horoscope for March of 2023. We are the astrologers of Pandora Astrology. I'm Jamie Kale Miller. I'm in Berkeley, California.
I'm Julia Mijas, and I'm in San Francisco, California.
Let's take a look at what's happening for you in March. Well, happy birthday, Aries. If you haven't scheduled your yearly birthday reading yet, there's still time to do it before your birthday, which is the most powerful time to do it. This lets you ritualize your personal New Year's moment and jump into your year empowered to make it the best one ever. It also comes with fantastic affirmations you can use all year to create your best life. You'll find a link for it in the description below. I want to start with my favorite asteroid goddesses, Juno and Ceres. I've been talking about Ceres going retrograde since last month, which is when it started. Ceres is retrograde in Libra and will be until early May, and that's your 7th house. Ceres has to do with finances, has to do with the things that connect us to the physical world in general. So our bodies and the food we put into them, as well as the money we make to sustain them. And so any house that Ceres is traveling through, especially while retrograde, is going to want to we'll be experiencing that these things are breaking down and struggling and getting all tangled up while Ceres is retrograde, but that they can be, righted. We can right the ship. Especially with Ceres in Libra, it's going to be about a rebalancing of your health regimes, of maybe your diet and how you eat, and your money and how you acquire it, save it, and spend it. And in the 7th house, this may connect with themes of relationship, partnership. So it may be that your partner is going through this, and you're there to help and to mirror and support and provide partnership to that person. Or it may be that you're going through it and your partner shows up to help you. Either way, it can be very useful to draw on the strength of your bond with another person to help you get through this. And Ceres is going to be here until early May. So we'll be saying more about it as we go along. Juno starts the month in Aries, and here she is in your 1st house. Juno, of course, is the asteroid goddess to do with partnership, matchmaking, collaboration, networking. And when she travels through your 1st house, which she started doing last month, then you can embody any planets that are in your 1st house. You can be them, express them, really take them on for yourself for the duration. Juno usually spends a couple of months in a house, even when she's moving direct and fast, as she is now. And while she's in the 1st house, this is a really good time for you to expand your social networks, hang out with friends and community, build on the community that you have, strengthen the social ties that you have with people, and also that the people in your life have with each other, because Juno is a matchmaker after all. And that doesn't just mean setting your friends up for blind dates. It also means, like, maybe introducing work colleagues to each other that need to know each other. So Juno puts you at the center of the social scene this month, and that's pretty cool. Hey, Julia. What's up with Venus, Mercury, and Mars for the Aries of the world this month?
Well, I've got good news to report on Venus, the planet of art, beauty, and relationships, who begins the month in Aries' first house. This is the house of self, and this is a great transit to go through because it can make one a lot more charming, even a lot better looking with Venus in the first. So this is a good time for the first half of the month, especially if you want to do anything to improve your looks. If it goes anything from getting your hair done to getting a tattoo or going shopping for a new outfit. And it's a wonderful transit for dating too, for all the single Aries out there. Then by March 16th, Venus enters your second house for the rest of the month. This is a house of money. It's a house of luxury. It's a house of your possessions. So with Venus in the second for the second half of the month, you're just going to want to luxuriate a lot more. It's a very sensual transit. You might be enjoying food. You might be enjoying, treating yourself to a massage or going shopping. And it can bring you a little extra money luck as well. So maybe that means things go well for you at work. Maybe you sell a possession of yours and get a little extra money for it. But nice transit all the way around. Then another good planet we should look at is Mercury. Mercury represents our mind, and wherever Mercury is where we tend to be preoccupied this month. So Mercury starts the month in the 11th house, but it's only here for a day. It really spent most of last month there. The 11th house being a house of friends, this could be a time of connecting a lot, communicating a lot with friends. But by the second, Mercury enters your 12th house. And this is a very charitable house. It's a very spiritual house. It's a house of fantasy. It's a house of the subconscious. So Mercury in the 12th for the next couple of weeks of the month, sort of the middle part, is a time where your mind might be a lot more preoccupied with things that are not mundane. Maybe if you're into fantasy, maybe you're doing a lot of fantasy reading or writing or watching movies. It could be a time where your dream world is a lot more vivid. And it could be a time, if you do any meditation, if you do any consciousness exploration in general, this could be a very fruitful transit for that. Mercury does represent your speech. So in the 12th house, you could be a little bit more inclined to keeping your words to yourself and your thoughts to yourself. And try not to misspeak during this transit or be deceptive with what you have to say, because the 12th house is also known for self-sabotage as well. That can be the more challenging aspect of this transit. But then by the 18th, Mercury enters your first house. And this again is the house of self. After Venus leaves here, Mercury comes in a couple of days later. And with Mercury in the first house, it's a time where you're a lot more outspoken, a lot more personally articulate. This can be a great transit for a job interview, a great transit for public speaking, or, just expressing your ideas to other people, because you're really embodying Mercury quite well. And Mercury represents your intelligence. So you can come across more clever, more articulate, more witty to other people during this transit too. And then finally, Mars is going to be leaving your third house this month. It's been in your third house for a very long time, since last fall. So many, many months here. And Mars in the third house may have been a frustrating time, especially with taking trips in your life, such as commutes, such as short journeys. If you have any brothers and sisters, maybe you've been going through more conflicts with them over the last number of months, or maybe you've just had more verbal arguments in general, because Mars did a whole retrograde cycle here. So that's why it's taken so long. So it'll be a big relief to have Mars out of this house finally. And that's going to happen on March 25th, when Mars enters Cancer, which is your fourth house. So for the last week of March and from April onwards, with Mars in the fourth house, this is a time where you're going to be feeling quite energized by the domestic part of your life, so by your family and home. So this can be a good transit for getting a lot of stuff done around the house, or even doing workouts at the house, since Mars is such an athletic planet. Doing work from home on your own could be great for Mars in the fourth house. However, it can be a time of sort of frustration and conflict with those you live with. The fourth house can definitely represent the parents if they're still a big part of your life. This can be a time of just not seeing eye to eye, or, kind of running into some flare-ups in those areas of life too. So just be wary of that. And I think the most constructive use of this transit is just, really getting at your to-do list around your house and home.
Yes, indeed. Because we don't want lots of upsets and crying fits at home from angry people that we live with and love.
No, we don't.
So I have 2 moons to report and a seasonal change, beginning with the full moon in Virgo of March 7th. And here we see it sitting here in Virgo opposite the sun in Pisces. This moon has a wonderfully supportive configuration called a cradle, where the sun trines Pallas Athena, which sextiles the moon, which trines Uranus, which sextiles the sun. And it's a pretty happy set of campers going on here, bringing a wonderful state of concentration when you're getting into the details. Details can be very absorbing under a moon like this, and you may find that you're kind of enjoying the process of making whatever area of life this moon falls into just a little bit better all the time, a little bit better, a little bit better, a little bit better, and that process can feel really good. In this case, because the moon lands in your 6th house of health and well-being, of work and the job, of service, and of personal organization, whether at home or work, this moon is definitely there for you to help you get these areas more organized and improve the systems that you have running in those areas that help them to operate more smoothly. There is a little fly in the ointment, which is Mars. Mars introduces a note of irritation and tension, and especially of distractibility, but it's nothing that we can't cope with. So that moon, we're calling it shape and mold in your quirky way. And I think it'll be pretty enjoyable for you, Aries. The next thing that happens is that around March 20th, depending on your time zone, the sun changes signs and moves into your sign, Aries. And so this is the beginning of your personal new year. And so if you are a sun sign Aries, then this would be your solar return. In other words, your birthday will happen sometime in Aries, and it's like your year starts over. And it's a really great time to accept wonderful, nourishing attention from the people in your life. And notice how big and full this, how packed this 1st house is. And even if the sun is just passing into your 1st house because you have Aries rising instead of you having an Aries sun, this is such a wonderful time to put attention on yourself. And what could be better than that? And so you should be feeling really energized, really invigorated, and it's fine to accept attention from others. It's also fine to be and embody the benevolent royalty, the queen or king within you that loves their subjects and wants to do right by them. There's such a wonderful radiance about the sun, especially in the 1st house, where it really, really loves to be. Now, on or around March 20th, again, depending on your time zone, the sun enters Aries. And then very shortly after that, on the 21st, we have the new moon in Aries right here in this 1st house. And this moon we're calling Clear Your Head and Begin Your Expedition. There is a strong cerebral element to this moon because Mercury is here with the moon and the sun. And also it squares that pesky Mars, which is getting ready to leave Gemini at the time. And so that distractibility and irritation may be present in this moon as well. This moon has a little bit more stress, but it's also more dynamic than the other moon this month. And so this moon is really great for beginning new projects and for, blowing on that little spark of life that is a project to be, and expanding it out into something really big and really, really exciting. So this is an exciting, invigorating, and enlivening new moon that lands right there in your 1st house. So get ready to leap into action. You can find out more about both of this month's moons on, of course, our forecast page at our website, pandoraastrology.com.
If you love Pandora Astrology's free and informative horoscopes, please do hit that like button, subscribe to our channel, and share our horoscopes with your friends.
Horoscopes are fun, but they're also really general. If you want to explore this month's themes more personally, we'd love to meet with you in a real live reading where you can gain powerful insights and learn what you need to make the big decisions in your career, family, or relationship. You'll find the link in the description below. Enjoy this beautiful springtime, and until next time, we'll see you around the cosmos.
Bye-bye.